When did a funeral go terribly wrong? My Uncle Richard's funeral was supposed to be a quiet ceremony for family only. He died suddenly at 58, leaving behind his wife Linda and their 16-year-old daughter Emma. What we didn't know was that Linda had been planning this day for months. For weeks after Richard's death, Linda seemed like the perfect grieving widow. She organized everything, picked out his favorite suit, chose his favorite hymns. She even had the funeral home make a slideshow of family photos. Everyone kept saying how strong she was being for Emma. The service started normally. The funeral home was packed with Richard's co-workers, neighbors, and old college friends. The pastor gave a nice speech about Richard being a devoted family man and successful businessman. People shared sweet memories of his barbecues and dad jokes. Linda sat in the front row dabbing her eyes with tissues, playing the grieving widow perfectly. Richard's boss even stood up and talked about what a trustworthy employee he was. Richard handled our biggest accounts, he said. We never had to worry about anything with him. Then came the eulogy. Linda walked up to the podium with a thick folder full of papers. I want to share who Richard really was, she said, her voice suddenly steady and cold. The tissues were gone. Her tears had stopped. She pulled out bank statements and spread them across the podium. Richard had 3 secret credit cards and a gambling addiction. He lost our daughter's college fund at the casino last month. $43,000 gone in one night playing blackjack. Emma's face went white. She grabbed my arm so hard it hurt. The room got dead silent. But Linda wasn't done. She pulled out printed emails and started reading them out loud. Here's one from March 15th. Michelle, can't wait to see you at the Hilton tonight. Told Linda I'm working late again. And here's another from April 2nd about that red dress. She looked up and scanned the crowd. Michelle, thanks for coming today. You're sitting in the 3rd row wearing that same red dress Richard bought you with our anniversary money. A woman in red stood up and bolted for the door, knocking over a flower arrangement. Richard's boss looked mortified. His elderly mother started crying, but not from grief anymore. Then Linda dropped the final bomb. She pulled out medical records and held them up like evidence. Richard didn't die of a heart attack like we told everyone. The coroner's report says he died of an overdose. Cocaine specifically. The same cocaine he was snorting off Michelle's desk when his heart gave out. The funeral director tried to approach the podium, but Linda waved him away. I'm not finished yet. Her voice was getting louder, more confident. So let's not pretend Richard was a saint. He was a liar, a cheat, and a drug addict who stole from his own family. Every business trip was really a gambling trip. Every late night was really time with his mistress. Richard's brother stood up shouting, Linda, stop this right now! But Linda held up her hand like a traffic cop. Oh, and one more thing for all you co-workers who thought he was so trustworthy. The FBI is investigating missing money from client accounts. Richard was embezzling to pay his gambling debts. Your precious company is about to be all over the news. Richard's boss went pale and immediately started whispering into his phone. Several co-workers got up and left, probably to call their lawyers. Linda walked back to her seat like she'd just finished giving a normal eulogy. She sat down next to Emma, put her arm around her daughter, and said loudly, There, now everyone knows the truth about my dear husband. Emma deserved better than living a lie. The pastor awkwardly tried to continue the service, but half the people had already fled. Richard's mother demanded Linda be removed, but legally it was Linda's funeral to run. At the graveside, only about 10 people showed up. As they lowered the casket, Linda threw a handful of dirt and delivered her final line. Richard always said he'd take his secrets to the grave. Turns out he was wrong about that too.